Underdog Fantasy is the number one spot for season-long and daily fantasy sports games. Enter into head-to-head competitions or join group competitions for a chance at winning real money from the knowledge that you acquired from our show. And speaking of our show, if you use our promo code Chuck and Shoop, Underdog will match your initial deposit for up to $100. But the offer is going away soon, so get on an offer. And that again, it's underdogfantasy.com/Chuck and Shoop. Okay. Yes, download that app. All right, Chuck. We got our NFL Pick'em, the final one of the regular season coming up. But
Here we go.
before we do that, I want to have a little fun with this topic. So, we're starting to cover a little more NBA as we get into the season, and simple enough topic. Debate is always time. Who's our top 10? So what I want to do is let's run through each of our 6 through 10 first, and let's see what we think about each other. Okay, I'll start first. So my number 10 player is John Morant. My number 9 is Damian Lillard. 8, Steph Curry. At 7, I have LeBron James, and at 6, I have Joel Embiid. What do you have for you, 6 or 10?
Okay, so at number 10, I have Donovan Mitchell, Spidey. At number 9, I got Ja. Number 8, Embiid. 7, Curry. And then at 6, Tatum.
Interesting. So you have Embiid. You have Embiid lower, which is, last year's MVP candidate. What about Embiid made you want to rank him so low?
So my ranking kind of went off of like their team. Even though Embiid has been he's been playing super well, like he's been scoring, he's been doing it all. I just think he has the pieces around him that make him super successful. Like he's got James Harden, Tobias Harris, Maxey, who's coming up. Like a lot of guys around him. So I mean, it looks like he's doing it all, but as of late, it's their whole team that's pulling themselves together and making each other really good around them. If Embiid was just by himself, he'd be lower on my list, but I just think his team makes him better. I don't think he's super dominant like a Giannis or a Joker.
Mm-hmm. That's fair enough. But yeah, overall, for your list, I like it. I think Damian Lillard deserves a little bit more love. At this point, the way he's just able to carry one single franchise on his shoulders season after season.
Yeah.
But
I like LeBron. I like LeBron's in your top 10. At least he's not 8, 9, or 10. At least he's 7. I'll take that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He's still a top 10 player. I mean, look what he's done this season.
Incredible.
But forget about 6 or 10. What we really care about is who's our top 5. So I'll break down my top 5. At 5, I have Jason Tatum. At 4, I have KD. At 3, Nikola Jokic. Number 2, Giannis. And number 1, Luka Doncic. What's your top 5?
So we got definitely similar right here. So at 5, I got Joker instead of Tatum. Tatum was my 6. 4, KD, like yourself. KD's the man. 3, I got LeBron because he's 38 and he's averaging 30 a game, like 8 rebounds, 9 assists. Like it's just unbelievable what we're seeing at his age. And then I got Luka at 1, Giannis at 2, respectively.
Okay, well, we have the same top 2, but Jokic is a one-of-a-kind player because of his height, his shooting ability, and his passing ability. It is remarkable that LeBron is doing what he's doing at age 38, but I think I would argue that does more for his legacy and his current standing as where he is as a player right now. Remember how bad this Lakers team is, and he's putting up stats, but he's not leading them to wins or anything.
I agree with that.
I'm not blaming him, but it's a guy like Jokic, Giannis, Luka are single-handedly making these teams, are putting them in playoff contention, and then the other players put them over the top. I really think Jason Tatum is not getting enough love here. I think the way he's elevated his game, and the way his hot stretches are better than anyone's hot stretches in the entire NBA.
Yeah, that's
When
true.
he's on, you can't stop him offensively, and great defender as well.
I agree. I agree. And then honestly, you know me, I just love LeBron. LeBron's my guy. He's got to be top 5.
Yeah, and I've been a bit of a LeBron hater for most of my life, so you can't blame me
Everybody,
too
yeah,
much.
like everybody else,
Yep, well, whatever. I'm proud to be like the majority in this one. Forget about it. Forget about it. We got NFL Week 18, final segment of the day. We got huge games coming up, big time playoff implications, and we're going to start with the Saturday night game in which I will be in attendance in Jacksonville this Saturday for Titans Jaguars. AFC
Oh,
South
let's
is on the
go.
line.
Let's go. That's gonna be a
Win in
sick
your
fucking game.
yes, win and they're in. Josh Dobbs is making a start for the Titans again after he was more impressive than Malik Willis last week against the Cowboys. Jaguars trying to make it back to the playoffs for the first time since they almost advanced to the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles about 5 years ago. Who wins this game?
I got Jaguars all the way. Got Jaguars. Jaguars come up, and they're going to be the new king of the South, and the old king gets dethroned.
Mm-hmm. Far too many injuries for the Titans for them to win this one. I do think they'll make it more competitive than the spread makes it seem like because they're a well-coached team.
Yeah,
but they just don't have enough firepower at this point, especially if Derrick Henry and Jeffrey Simmons aren't at their 100% best. So Jaguars have been hot, riding momentum. It continues in this game. Jags win.
let's go.
All right, so one of a couple games that have big division implications this coming weekend. Ravens versus Bengals. Joe Burrow trying to make it back to the Super Bowl. And Lamar Jackson maybe returns this week. It would be big for the Ravens if he does. But with the information we have right now, who do we have?
So it was like a toss up for me. I'm gonna go. I might go safe here though. I think I'm gonna stick with Bengals. I think they're gonna sit Lamar, and they're gonna play Huntley. I think the Ravens might sit a lot of guys because they're already in the playoffs, and they're gonna go full gung ho wild card round. And I think Bengals will also sit guys, but I think Bengals definitely have the better team depth wise. So I'm gonna go with Bengals. Might be a shit show game.
Could be. I do worry a little bit about where the Bengals' heads are at right now.
That
They
too.
could be a little distracted with the whole postponement mess, and obviously T. Higgins might be a little shaken up. But with that being said, this Bengals team is still one of the hottest in the NFL. I mean, they're still the longest win streak in the NFL, and the Ravens didn't look like the same team defensively on Sunday night, which is a big key for me. Their defense was dominant in the second half, but not against the pedestrian Steelers offense. So I like the Bengals.
I like that word, pedestrian Steelers offense.
Yeah. And then the other game that has huge divisional implications, the Pats and the Bills. The Pats, they win, they're back in the playoffs somehow, some way with this team. But they got to go into Buffalo. And Buffalo might be playing with heavy, heavy hearts. A lot on the line this game. Who you got?
See, I don't see like people might say that they like Bills might not play or whatever, but I think like just out of the game itself and the emotions and everything, that's your division rival and they're coming into your place. And I don't think it would be I think there would be nothing better than to beat the Pats at your place, end the season right for your team and for Hamlin. But Bills might be playing without like Tre'Davious White and other secondary guys, but I'm gonna stick with the Bills.
Well, the good thing for the Bills is that the Patriots don't have the weapons to exploit injured secondary, and that includes their
Yeah.
quarterback. I really don't know how they'll react because it's such a unique situation. but I do know that the crowd will be there in Buffalo. They will be rocking. They will
Yeah,
be
they
showing
have
their
to.
support.
They have to.
And once that happens, I think the Bills will use that as extreme motivation. And I think the Bills crush the Patriots.
I'm getting
Crush the
chills thinking
Patriots
about it.
dreams. I'm hoping for just amazing scenes. Hopefully the news keeps going well this week as it has. But I'm all in on the Bills this week as well.
100%.
And the Sunday night flex game. So this could be a win and in game. It might not be. It all depends if the Seahawks lose to the Rams earlier. But regardless, it's still meaningful for the Packers. If they win, they're in. If they lose, Rodgers is going home early. So huge game in the NFC North. What we got?
Flex of the year game. They put this one here because they know it's going to be a fucking show and a half. Both teams respectively have so much history. Packers are so hot though. I'm going with the Packers. I am going with the Packers. I think Rodgers, he's going to take like 50 perks. He's not going to feel a goddamn thing. He's going to go out there, throw for like 400 yards because back then, some history for you. In 2016, he beat the Bears to clinch a playoff spot. 2013, I'm pretty sure. No, 2016 they beat the Lions. 2013 they beat the Bears to clinch a playoff spot also. And then in 2011 they also beat the Bears. And Rodgers won a Super Bowl that year. So I'm not saying it's Super Bowl vibes, but I'm getting those type of season vibes. Packers.
Yes, Rodgers does have the history there, and I never thought I'd see the day that I go 4 for 4 of you agreeing on picks, and I still don't see it because not today. Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions are going to the playoffs. They're going on the road in the biggest game in the last 20 years for this franchise, and they are upsetting them. I got the Lions.
I wouldn't be mad if it happened. Honestly, wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad.
Nobody would. Absolutely
right?
nobody would.
Right? I agree.
Yeah. Let's throw in a lock here. What you got?
So my lock, I've been fucking 0-2 past 2 weeks. But going with Chiefs -9.5 at Raiders, 4 o'clock on Saturday. Patrick Mahomes. One thing I want to add though, Patrick Mahomes, he might get his incentives. He needs like 400 yards for something, for like a record and some incentive. So hopefully they put up like 50.
Oh, good keynote there. I feel you on that lock. The Rams did not come through last week for my lock, so I'm going to try to go over a heavy favorite this week. A team that has quit on the season versus a team that is still fighting for seeding. So the 49ers are a 14-point favorite versus the Cardinals. But with the Cardinals, whoever they're starting at quarterback, it's not going to be good enough against this defense. And the 49ers have motivation. I mean, division rival, yes, but they want to lock up that 2 seed and potentially even have a shot for that 1 seed, which will determine during those 4 o'clock games. So I like the 49ers to roll the Cardinals and cover this hefty 14-point spread.
I like it. So I'm going to triple down and pick the Browns to beat the Steelers. Now, I don't know who's not playing. Like, Steelers got to win. It's a rivalry game. Browns got to play. So maybe like Nick Chubb's out or whatever, but I'm taking Browns all the way. No way. I think the Steelers are fake as hell. Give me the Browns.
Well, you do make a good point on one part. The Steelers have been underdogs for weeks, and now they're suddenly a favorite, but only 2.5 points. It's a little weird, and teams have a tendency to choke in games where they must win to get in, which is why, for my upset, I'm doubling down on the Rams and thinking I can't go over 2 with Baker, and they're going to upset the Seahawks. The Seahawks are not good. The Jets are somehow worse. The Jets are a disaster of an organization. But the Seahawks have not been good since their bye. Their defense has been really bad. Geno's came back down to earth a little bit. And you got the Rams, who have nothing to play for, except Baker Mayfield, who's got everything to play for as a showcase for wherever he goes next season. And Sean McVay is always going to have the guys fired up. They're going to want to win this divisional game. I think the Seahawks might think that all they have to do is win. So they lose, and it sets up Lions Packers as a win and get in.
I like it. I'm all for anarchy. So
Love anarchy. Love chaos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big chaos
Well,
guy. Big chaos guy.
Big chaos. Well, that's the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Shoop.
Hey, I'm Chuck.
And we will see you guys next time.
Make sure you sign up at Underdog Sports.
Link in the description below. Boom. Boom, 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 boom.